So a multi-threaded programs has different threads of execution. So that means simultaneously two sets of code will be able to execute at the same time. Okay, so each set of code which you are saying that will run parallelly represents a thread. Okay, so we have to be able to identify which are the different how we can distinguish between the task and the execution. So to look at that, first let's see how to create threads in Java. How do we create threads in Java? Okay, there are two ways of creating threads in Java. So the first way is to use something called implement the runnable interface. So interfaces, I have already put up a video on interfaces. So an interface is not like a class. It just gives the definition of the methods that must be there in a class. So when your class implements an interface, it must give a body to all the methods that are there defined inside the interface. So interface is like just a definition. Okay? And when a class implements an interface, the class must give the implementation or the body of these methods. So there is a method called the runnable, there is an interface called the runnable interface. So you can have your class implement this interface. Okay? And when your class implements the interface, then it has to implement or give a body to the methods that are defined in runnable. And one very important method that is there in runnable is the run method. There is a method in the runnable interface called the run method. So what this run method will contain is that it will contain the code which you want to be run parallelly. So if your class implements the runnable interface, then you have to give a body to the run method, and inside the run method you have to write the code which you want to be executed parallelly. Okay, so this is one way of creating the runnable, one way of creating threads. Now we are not creating threads, we are simply making a class implement this interface. Okay, but in order to implement multi-threading, you have to use the class called thread class. So there is this built-in class called thread which you have to use. So then in that case you might be thinking that what happens to the class which implements runnable? Suppose I write like this, class some class implements runnable. Okay, this is the class. Then inside this class I will have the run method. Okay, this is void, does not return anything. It has to be public. Okay, and there will be some code here. Alright, so now what about this class? This is not a thread. This is not a thread. Thread is something which you create out of the thread class. So if you want to create a thread, you have to create an object of the thread class. Okay, so what this class represents is the task. What work you want to be done parallelly. Then, so this, if I think that this is a task, so I have an object of this class. This is an object of some class. Okay. Then I have a thread object. Thread object is what? Object of the thread class. Now what we do is we assign this task to this thread. Okay. So we assign the task to a thread. Only when it is assigned to a thread, it is the thread which will run parallelly. This cannot run on its own, it cannot run parallelly. This object, it cannot run execute at the same time. So you have to give it to a thread. So here if we follow this particular method of writing multi-threaded programs, then your there has to be clear separation between the task you want to perform simultaneously and the thread. So here you have the task object, here you have the thread object, and then you make an assignment to this. You associate this task to the thread. So suppose I want to do this same task 3 times and I want all of them to run parallelly. Then what should I do? Create 3 threads. Also create 3 objects of the task. Because I want 3. Suppose this is printing. I'll show you one program where we will write programs to say print some character. Say print A 10 times, print A 100 times. So I want to first print A 10 times, then print B 10 times, then print C 10 times. Okay? So in that case, I will have to have 3 objects of the task, 3 task objects, and then I have to have 3 threads. Each thread will be assigned to each task, and then all of them will run parallelly. Is this clear? Okay. So let us see how this is going to work. So this is a very, this way, it takes a little bit more time. There are more steps involved, but this is actually how you should write your multi-threaded programs, because you're separating the task and the thread. Thread, you just think of it as something which will do the multi-threading part of it, but your task is totally different. Okay, so this is how we are going to look at the first example. So we'll see a program. Alright, so here we have a class called printChar, which implements the runnable interface. Okay, so now that this class, the objects of this class become something which can be executed simultaneously. Okay, if it does not implement the runnable interface, your class will not be able to be assigned to threads. So you cannot have multi-threading without this implementing the runnable interface. So here this class has got 2 data members, private data members, ch, which is character, and times, which is integer. So what we want to do in this class is that we want to print whatever character we give out here this many times. Okay, so two private data members. So we have this constructor out here, character c int t. These we are assigning it to the private data members. Okay, so this is the constructor. What is important here is the run method. So if you look at the run method, you'll see its syntax is like this: public void run. Okay, no arguments, and return type is void. So this is defined in the runnable interface. So you have to implement it here. So here what we are doing, we have a loop, for loop for I going from 1 to number of times. How much is the times? I plus plus, and here what we are printing? We are printing the character to be printed. This logic is quite simple. Simply printing the characters from 1 to from whatever number of times is required. Okay, so this is a class printChar. Alright. Now suppose with this, I can explain with this also, or if I want, suppose I want to have another class, okay, which does something similar, but it prints, say, digits instead of character. Okay, so let us write one more program, same like this. So here in this class, we are going to print a number. The task is to print numbers from 1 to some number. So that which number, that is the last number, we are giving it here in the variable n. So this is the data member, private data member of this class. This is the constructor where we have assigned this integer value. So whatever we are passing from here, we have assigned it to n. Then we have the run method out here. Okay, so run here, it is printing from 1 to whatever is the number, and that's what it is printing here. And see, I'm using here print, not print line. So it will print one after the other. So if you want, you can put a space also. It's up to you. You can put a space if you want. Okay, so this is the task for printing the number. So now we have 2 classes. One is printChar and the other is printNum. So I can create 2 tasks, at least 2 tasks. I can create more tasks also. I want to different characters, different number of times. So all I have to do is create objects of this class. I want to print from 1 to 100, then again I want to print from 1 to 1000, again I want to print from 1 to 10. So all I have to do is create objects of this class. Now the question is, how are we going to create the threads and how are we going to assign these objects of these classes to the threads? So for that, let us write a tester program or tester class where we will write the main function. Okay, but before that, remember, just like in when you write a regular program execution always starts from main. So every program that you want to execute must have a main function. For threads, where does it start from? It starts from run. Okay, so you can think as that for threads, run is the main. So program execution will always start from run. Okay, so let us write the main function now. So here you can see this is a class called test thread demo. Okay, here this is the tester class. Here I have a main function. In the main function, we have created 3 task objects. Task 1, task 2, task 3. Task 1 and 2 are objects of the printChar class. And because the constructor takes which character to be printed? How many times? So I'm saying that the character A I want it to print 100 times. For the second task, I want B to be printed 50 times. Okay? And then task 3 is of different class, print num class. So it's going to print from 1 to 1000. So 3 tasks. Now let us see how we can assign them to threads. And as I said, a thread, to create a thread, it has to be a object of the thread class or a subclass of the thread class. So let us create an object of the thread class. So we'll create like this, thread. Let me call it T1. Okay. New thread. And now notice here, the first thing that we give out here is the task object. The task object. So my first task object is task 1. Task 1. So the first argument that we give to the constructor of the thread class is the task object. There are different constructors. The constructor of the thread class it's an overloaded constructor. So you have many different formats of the thread class constructor. So one of them takes as first argument an object of a class which implements the runnable interface. So task 1 is an object of printChar. printChar implements runnable. So here we are assigning that task object to the thread. Okay. And the second argument, again this is optional. If you want to keep, you can keep, is a name to the thread. Let me give a name to the thread. Okay. So let me call it thread 1. Thread 1. So this is a string. So association of the task with the thread. Same way, I have 3 tasks, so I'll need 3 threads. So thread T2 is new thread. I assign task 2 to it, and then thread 2. Okay, and then third one is thread T3 is new thread task 3, thread 3. So now I have created 3 thread objects, 3 task objects, and also associated the task object with the thread. Now the threads are ready for execution. But it will not start immediately after creating the object. It will not start execution on its own. So we have to call a method of the thread class, which is called the start method. So the start method is a method of the thread class. Okay, and when you call the thread method using a thread object, then only the execution starts. Okay, so I will call T1 dot start, T2 dot start, and T3 dot start. That's all. That's all. Now, all three will start running on its own. Again, we have no control about who is going to run first, which one is going to run first, which one is going to run second. We don't know. It is now up to the operating system to do all this handling. So if I tell you, if you get a question like this, tell me what is the output, you will not be able to give. Because it is asynchronous. You don't know which one will be, well, it may print all the A's, then it may print all the B's, okay, then it may print 1 to 1000, or it may print some A's, then again print some numbers, then again print B's, then again continue, okay. So, once it is started, alright, it is, and until and unless of course you use some other methods, this is going to run depending upon the operating system. So how the threads are scheduled, that's how it is going to work. Okay. So this is in short a simple program where you are implementing multi-threading. So I would like you to test out this program. Whether you're doing it in the lab or you're going home and doing this, write this program and see what happens, and then you'll be able to see every time you run it, you may get a different output. Okay, run it 5-6 times, and then you'll see you'll get different outputs for each execution. Okay, any questions? So when you write a program like this, okay, here I have 3 thread objects explicitly created. Okay, so I have 3 threads executing. Once all 3 has executed, the control comes here, I have 3 threads executing. But I also have one more thread which is executing, which is the main thread. The main function is executing, that is, so by default every program that you run has one default thread which is the main thread. So the main function which is running, that is by default it is a thread. So even though here I have 3 threads started, there is actually 4 threads which are running. Because when you are executing all this code, that is a single threaded program. That's why we call it single threaded. So that means there must be one thread. Okay? So the thread which is there by default in any main function is the main thread. Okay? So we can find out which, so now once you have started these 3, you have now thread T1, thread T2, thread T3, and you also have the main thread. So 4 threads are running. Now even the main thread can be scheduled by the processor, by the operating system along with T1, T2 and T3. So it is not that main will be given priority or anything, no. Main will get the default priority only. All of these will get the default priority. Default priority is actually an integer which takes values between 1 and 10. Okay, so default priority is 5. So when you create a thread like this, all T1, T2, T3 are getting the priority value 5. Even main has got the same priority. So since they have the same priority, depending upon the scheduling algorithm that is working behind, they will be scheduled. So if you have some code after this, okay, so they will be again depending upon, they will be scheduled, they may run overlapping with T1, T2 and T3. The execution may overlap, so it may be that first the run method of T1 is executing, then run method or then the code here is main is executing, then T2 is executing, then T3, then main, it can go on like this. Okay, but one thing is for sure, that is the main function, the main thread is the first one to start and it is the last one to end. So main will end only after T1, T2 and T3 are completed. So that is the last thread to complete its execution. Okay. So we will see now how we can get a reference to the main thread and see print some values from it. Okay. So we'll see that now.